Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to this stream. I'm very sorry that I'm 10 minutes late, but as it said, yeah, you have to wait for the good things in life, and that is true about this stream as well because today we are going to do something extremely special. I have something for you here, so this is our thumbnail for today. On the left, you have Grandmaster Evgeny Shtembuliak, the current world junior champion, and a very strong 2600 plus rated GM who is a master in the English opening, and he has agreed to show you some of the tricks and some of the nice ideas in this opening, and he's going to show you the English with 1c4 today. uh, I got to know Yevgeny at the World Juniors in Delhi in 2019. And as you can see here, he's in the center with the gold medal. On the left, you have Shan Sargisian from Armenia, who was silver, and Aram Hakobian from also Armenia, who had the bronze. So a world class player, and I think it's an honor for all of us to be learning the English from him. So, without any further delay, I'm going to welcome him. But first, I'm going to check the chat. Uh, Everyone's talking about dance, yeah. I posted a video on Instagram about me dancing, and you guys want me to dance on stream. Maybe after the English opening, yeah, we're going to check that out. And Ayushi Sharma, welcome back, Ayushi. Good to see you in the chat. Hi, Evgeny. How are you?
Yeah, hello everyone. Yeah, I'm doing great. Ready for the stream.
Ready for the stream?
Yeah.
I'm very excited. Evgeny, I have been an English player, quite a, you can say, fervent adherent of this opening. And today I'm going to
Mhm.
learn something from one of the experts. So I'm also very excited and pumped up for that.
Yeah, should be very informative, I think.
Okay. So what are we going to do today? I'll take us directly to the chess board here. So we'll be looking at 1c4, right?
Yeah. So yeah, a couple of words about this opening before I start. So I started playing the English opening, I guess, like in late 2015, early 2016, and I realized that this opening will suit me a lot. Like the positions that you usually get after c4 are very complicated, and very strategically complicated, so they're not very straightforward, and many people are not really good at them. And another thing that I liked a lot is that this move avoids a lot of different openings. For instance, after c4, it's black cannot play the grunfeld defense anymore, because after knight f6, knight c3, g6, there is e4. So now we just transfer to the king's Indian. So there is no grunfeld defense, which was a big plus for me. Another thing is that there is no Nimzo defense, because after knight f6, knight c3, e6, I also have this e4 move.
Yeah, this is very aggressive. Yeah, this Karl Mikenas
Yeah, e4 is very
system.
aggressive, but still, it avoids a lot of very solid openings that I usually try to avoid. Yeah. So today I wanted to look at after c4 and e5 and c5. So we can start with e5.
Okay, e5. Let's begin. Siddharth Hemnani, thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, after e5, as I told on the previous stream, I treat this position as a Sicilian defense, because it's basically the same position, but with a different color, basically. Yeah, if you go e4, c5, and here if it's black to move, then we get to the same position. Yeah. So basically, this is a better version of the Sicilian defense.
Would you say that when you play c4, most of the times your opponents respond with e5? It's like one of the main systems.
Okay, it really depends on like who I'm playing. Like it depends on the level of the chess players.
Hmm.
I feel like from my perspective, like when you play e5, uh, like you have to be like ready for the fight. Like e5 is not the solid line.
Yeah.
Yeah, people who try to play solid, they usually go c5 or knight f6. So yeah, after e5, it usually gets more complicated.
Hmm.
So and here, I've tried a lot of different moves. After e5, I usually go knight c3, but I also play g3. I even tried a3 in this position, like a
A3.
lot of moves. A3, yeah, and even e3. I played those four moves. So a3's idea is basically the same as like in the Sicilian defense. Like you just go a6 or here a3, just
Ah.
a useful move anyway. So like yeah, this is a move that you can consider as well.
Yeah, so guys, A3 is also interesting. It seems like a funny move, but usually in the Sicilian, A6 is useful. So in the same way, A3 is very useful in this position as well. By the way, Yevgeny,
Uh,
I see a comment by Ishan Deshpande who says, I am Yevgeny's first subscriber. Welcome to YouTube, Yevgeny. So
yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
I want to tell the viewers that Yevgeny has just created his YouTube channel today, and I've put the link in the description. So if the mods can just spam the link in the chat, and guys, we should aim to help and get as many subscribers for Yevgeny. My aim is always that one should begin with 1,000 subscribers. So if that happens today, that would be wonderful. But just you can put in the link in the chat. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. But okay, like we're gonna consider the most playable move here, which is knight c3, like the main line.
Okay.
Yeah, knight c3, knight f6. Oh yeah, like there are some other moves like bishop b4, knight c6. Some people even play bishop c5 sometimes, but knight f6 still remains the main line.
Yeah.
Yeah, knight f6, knight f3, knight c6. Okay, in this position, yeah, knight c6 is basically like the only good move because e5 is hanging. And usually in such positions, you cannot play e4. And the reason why is that after knight g5, queen e7, queen c2, you're not going to be able to defend that pawn on e4.
Knight g5, queen e7, queen c2, and yeah, this is
Yeah,
gone.
so now the pawn on e4 just falls. Yeah, like you cannot go d5 because they just take it. So yeah, you just lose your pawn.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's why black has to go knight c6. And here, once again, like this position is very rich. Like you can go e3, you can go e4, you can go g3, like even d3, a3. Once again, like a lot of different options.
Yeah. Also
Yeah,
d4, as we discussed.
yeah. Also d4. Yeah,
So
that's yeah, Samai's favorite move.
yes. So what would you recommend? And I know that in the morning you showed this move e3 in the
Yeah,
stream.
I think that e3 is the most like um concrete approach in this position. Because after e3, I feel like it's much harder for black to solve all the problems. Yeah, the main idea of e3 is to just promote d4 at some point, and then after black takes on d4, just take back with the pawn, and you get a very strong center.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm actually, Yevgeny, I have never played E3 in my I've played a lot of English. I always used to play
Mhm.
G3, but considering your
Yeah,
morning game and what I'm going to learn today, I think I might start playing E3 in my games.
yeah, cool. So yeah, I mean g3 is also a good move. Like I'm pretty sure, like if you check the amount of games, like they probably don't differ too much. Like
Yeah,
people go g3, e3. Yeah.
of course.
Okay, in this position, like it's important to understand that d5 is a bad move.
Hmm. Yeah, this is an important point which you mentioned, which was like after CD knight d5, white has a
Yeah, now we
strong
go
move.
bishop b5.
Yeah, this is important to
Yeah,
know.
now, now you're pinning this knight on c6, and e5 is hanging. So black has to take on c3.
Hmm.
Then you take back with the pawn. And here, let's say bishop d6.
Yeah, bishop d6 or maybe e4. But I think e4,
E4,
knight
yeah.
d5 or knight d4 may be strong. Yeah.
Um, don't remember exactly. E4. I remember that E4 is not a good move. Like after E4, most probably knight E5.
Yeah.
Knight E5, and after Queen D5, there is some move like Queen A4. I think.
Okay. I
Yeah,
think
Queen A4. And now. Mhm.
people can actually figure out, because e4 theoretically is not a good move. So if you just try to think on your own, maybe you can find, but maybe knight e5 is the refutation, or maybe gives white at
Yeah,
least an edge.
yeah, and then Queen A4 and White is much better. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, because now if Black takes on E5, you just take on C6, and whenever he takes back, you take with the Queen, and then the Rook on A8 is hanging.
Yeah,
So that's a
absolutely.
fork here.
Okay.
Yeah, so E4 is not a good move. Black has to go Bishop D6, and after D4, White gets a very strong center, so White is just has a better position.
And now if
So yeah,
e4, I guess you go
yeah.
knight
Now
d2,
if
yeah.
E4, yeah, you go knight D2 and you just hit that pawn on E4.
And if he goes f5, uh, already
Uh,
it looks bad. d5 might be in the air, but d5 right now black has a6.
yeah, that's true. But the problem of this position is that, like, my pawns, like C and D pawns, I will just start pushing them at some point, and the position is going to be much better. Also, I've got this A2 G8 diagonal, so maybe I will play something like Queen B3, just not allow you to castle.
Yeah.
Another idea, another very typical idea for White would be to promote F3 at some point. Yeah.
Hitting this center, yeah. So basically this looks good, but in a way it's a slightly overextended structure, and queen b3, c4 d5, or c4 c5, all of this gives white a very favorable position.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, D5 is not a good move, but some people still sometimes play it. But okay, it's not really a good idea. And okay, like others than D5, there are basically three moves in this position. Like Bishop B4 is the main line, and but we're gonna start with other lines, with the sidelines. So G6 is one of the moves.
Okay.
Yeah, here you go D4. And now if Black takes on D4, you just take back with the pawn. And after Bishop G7, you can just play D5, hit the knight. The knight has to go to E7. Now you just go Bishop D3 and finish your development, like castles, D6. And it's important to play H3 to avoid Bishop G4. Yeah, and this position is slightly better for White because I have more space thanks to this pawn on D5. And since we have all of the minor pieces on the board, White is just better. And actually here, like, there is a very important moment. Let's say Black plays Bishop F5.
Okay.
In this case, like, I don't really want to trade minor pieces because I have a space advantage. So I would really consider moves like Bishop E2. I'm not sure like if it's the best, but this is one of the moves that I would consider. And then followed by Knight D4.
Knight d4, and sometimes in such positions even g4 could be possible. It's not very weakening because you restrict all the black pieces.
Yeah, G4 is also one of the ideas.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, this is what happens after G6.
I actually like this position a lot for white because there's a lot of space. I had one question over here.
Yeah.
That after let's say something like d4, e into d4, e into d4, can black go for the move d5 here?
Okay, d5 is actually a bad move. The reason why is that your pawn is on g6, so it's not easy for you. Like, it takes a lot of time to finish your development. You will have to play bishop g7 and castles. So after d5, I just take on d5, knight d5, and I go bishop c4. So I have a very strong isolated pawn on d4. So black is not on time to finish the development. But if you take on c3, I just take bc, and they have a very strong center. So once again, this position is better for white. And also, your bishop on g7 is going to be shut down by my pawns.
Okay. By the way, we have Grandmaster Abhijit Gupta in the chat, who's a very strong GM, and 2600 plus 5-time Commonwealth champion. And he says basically if you want to play one c4, you need to be a fluent d4 player as well. Do you agree with it?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that because I mean, sometime after c4, people can go like e6 and d5 or c6 followed by d5. And in that case, like we're just gonna transpose to some d4 positions. So yeah, but as I said earlier, like the benefit of playing c4 is that you can avoid like all different like openings, like Grunfeld defense and Nimza defense.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So g6, as we just saw, you go d4 and then you get
Yeah.
a small edge. So what else can black do?
Okay, bishop e7 is another move.
Okay.
And after bishop e7, like the move that I really like is queen b3. You can also go d4, but
yeah, I would have just, I mean, if you wouldn't have told me, I would have gone straight d4. But then I guess
okay,
now what I said makes slightly more sense
yeah,
because I didn't waste
yeah,
time with g6. Yeah.
yeah. Now d5 is a good move, and I think the position is equal.
Okay.
So yeah, the move that I like is queen b3, and the idea is to stop d5 forever. Because with the queen on b3, black will never be able to promote d5.
Ah.
So, and the idea is quite simple. You still want to go d4, but later. You want to finish the development on the king side first. So queen b3 castles, you just go bishop e2. Let's say d6. Then you castle. And now the problem is that he cannot go bishop e6 to help him promote d5 because b7 is hanging. And let's say he goes rook b8 instead. In that case, now I can play d4.
Yeah, and you're
White
just
is just better.
one tempo too slow. Also, it I think is good to remind that e4 really never really works here. I think we can
Yeah, I
go
can just go knight d2 or knight g5, doesn't really matter.
knight
Yeah.
d2, bishop f5, and maybe
And
queen
then queen
c2.
c2. Yeah, queen c2, and they just wins the pawn.
And then take this guy, and you can always defend it further with bishop d3.
Yeah, or even with the pawn on f3. Yeah.
Yeah, pawn f3.
So yeah, after bishop e7, I would really recommend this queen b3 move. And I think it's very hard to play after queen b3 with black.
Nice.
Okay, but let's get back to bishop before to the main line.
Yeah, this is, I think if you play e3, maybe if out of 5 games, 4 games you may face bishop b4, right?
Yeah, bishop b4 is, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, I would say in 8 games out of, or maybe even 9 games out of 10, yeah.
Okay.
I see bishop f4. Okay, so yeah, you go queen c2 here. And now, once again, black has a choice. I think black has like 3 reasonable moves. A bishop takes c3 is one of them, then castles, or also d6.
Okay.
Let's start with d6, which is the worst move. Yeah, after d6, yeah, like I had this position in classical games, and I just played a3, and like I had some very complicated positions, but then I looked it up, and apparently white has a very, very strong move here.
Okay,
So maybe, yeah,
ask the
maybe the
viewers?
audience can try to find it.
Fantastic, fantastic. So Evgeny is asking you guys to think in this position, powerful move for white. I'm also going to put my thinking cap on, and I'm going to think what is a good move here. So white to move.
Yeah, this move is not very usual for such positions. Like I've never seen such moves before.
Really?
Yeah, so it's like
because
very tricky.
I mean, the first move that comes to mind is what you played in the morning, but as you said, it's not very, that would be a common move here, so I'm trying to
that would
think.
be a common move.
Okay, interesting. Let's see if someone in the chat gets it. The one prophet says 92. Suryansh Verma, Ishan Deshpande, knight d5. Ilam Parthi, by the way, very young, talented boy, says knight d5. Malik Arjun, queen f4. a3, knight g5. You know, the move I'm going to suggest has not been said by anyone yet. Okay. Was the right move suggested already?
Yeah,
Okay.
92 is the correct move.
92 by Prophet 1. Amazing. Knight e2 is the right
so
move.
Yeah, the whole...
Yeah.
Yeah, so the idea of knight e2 is that now I want to go a3, and I want to like pursue this bishop, and like and you won't be able to take on c3 anymore, obviously. So yeah, now I will just play a3 and b4, and other than that, I will just put my knight on g3 and finish my development. So basically, like this bishop on b4 becomes out of place. So after knight e2, white has a very, very good advantage.
Okay, okay. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
So can you just go?
Just a second, Evgeny.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, guys, we are back. In general, we always have a small issue in between the stream. I have been trying to reach my internet provider since days, and I think today or tomorrow it will be fixed. But anyway, we are back on air, and the move that Yevgeny suggested here is really very very interesting, which is knight e2, and as he said, he wants to kick the bishop away with a3, b4, and just make this bishop feel uncomfortable, and the knight will go to g3, and would be very nicely placed. Very interesting. Can I ask a question, Yevgeny, here?
Yeah, for sure.
Why can't we do knight e2 here? I mean, just to
Knight e2
understand.
here. Okay, knight e2 here doesn't make sense because the pawn is still on d7, so the bishop can always get back to e7 at some point,
Ah,
and I can just play d5 in one move.
okay, got it. So that's
Yeah.
why when he plays, very interesting, when he plays d6 and when the path to go back is kind of blocked, you move away your knight.
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah. So, and after knight e2, let's say a5.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I can go knight g3, castles. Now a3, bishop c5, and b3. So now I want to develop my bishop to b2. Then I want to play bishop e2 and castle short. And after that, I will just promote d4. And a very cool thing is that after I promote d4, I will have such a strong bishop on this a1 h8 diagonal, and black's bishop is going to be out of play, like somewhere on b6 or a7.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Brilliant.
yeah, this position is just like much better for white.
Fantastic. Fantastic.
Okay, so d6 is not actually a good move, but many people still don't know it. Like knight e2 is not like the most playable move.
I mean, to tell you the
Okay,
truth, I was actually thinking when you said it's slightly weird, I was planning on a move like bishop d3.
bishop d3, like yeah, you can play such moves, but not in this position.
Yeah, doesn't.
Because black's pieces are like placed well, so like such moves like bishop d3, like it's just hard to finish a development after
Hmm.
this.
Yeah.
Like you cannot push your d pawn.
True.
Yeah.
True. Okay, but I like NE2 a lot. So instead of D6, what should black do?
Okay, like let's say if black castles.
By the way, the one prophet who gave the right answer says that, I mean, who gave NE2 as the move, says after
Mhm.
D6, knight E2, what about E4? Because after knight G5,
e4.
D5 looks pretty strong. That's what he feels. I don't know.
Mm, okay, d5. Okay, wait a second. Mhm. D5 looks, yeah, d5 is interesting, but I guess I can take on d5, or maybe wait, maybe I can also go knight f4. I have a lot of moves here.
Mm.
The problem is that e4 is still going to be weak, so I'm not sure what to start with. Maybe even knight f4.
Ah,
So with the idea of taking on d5 and then taking on e4, but
so
I'm not really sure.
if h6 here, maybe you may have to do something, yeah, because you can't take cd, hg
Okay, yeah,
easily.
I cannot go for it. Yeah, so maybe not knight f4. Okay, let me just take on d5 then.
Take, queen takes.
Yeah, queen takes. Now the problem is that my knight on g5 is hanging.
Yeah,
Uh,
and you could start with
okay.
something like h4,
Yeah, maybe
but
h4.
h6, knight f4, I think queen e5 might be uncomfortable. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely not what I want. Okay, like, can you just go back to e4? Okay, e4, I mean, knight g4 for sure, knight g5 for sure is the correct move.
Okay.
And after d5, now let me think, because... okay, now I can go a3, I can start with a3.
Mm-hmm.
I can hit the bishop. So now, let's say bishop goes to e7.
Yeah.
And now after I take on d5, you take with the queen.
Yeah.
I play h4. And now after h6, I have knight
Ah,
c3.
knight c3 you have. Oh, brilliant. Oh,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, I was just thinking that every time you go knight c3, the bishop takes it, but you first push it
yeah,
away. Well done. Yeah.
yeah.
And then you win the pawn.
That's why, I mean, e4... I mean, e4 is a possible move, but I think it just like loses a pawn, most probably.
Mm, But you have to be
Yeah,
creative. Like you have to think a little bit out of the box with moves like knight g5 and h4, and then a3, and then you
yeah.
can maybe take advantage of it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, let's say black castles here. Another interesting move.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you want to go knight d5. And yeah, like is the game like that I showed on the previous stream, black played rook e8, and after rook e8, queen f5, I think that white has a slight edge. And after d6, like we just enter this endgame, queen takes f6, queen f6, gf6. Now I play a3 before
Yes.
and put my bishop on b2, and this endgame is slightly better for white.
Guys, please check the morning stream where Evgeny in Improving Chess episode 69 talks about his game against Belarus. And it is a beautiful game. I think one of the finest positional games that you would see with lot of different ideas. And I think you will grasp what is happening here. So Queen f5 looks very surprising, but we are not going to delve into it very deep because it's been explained. Just to make the viewers one point clear, Yevgeny, is that knight b4, although wins a bishop, it loses a lot of time, right? After knight into
Yeah,
b4.
yeah, that's basically the biggest problem. Like usually I would take the bishop because now I would get like a pair of bishops, which is good. But yeah, it's just too slow because now my queen is under attack. That's a huge problem. And now whenever you hit my knight, I can even go c5. And then like after a3, my knight will go back to c6. And then I will just promote d5. And
Hmm.
black has a very good position. Black might even be better because
Okay,
I'm not developed.
got it.
Yeah, that's actually another very like important thing about like the English opening. Like most of the time you're behind in the development. But you're like for the development, you're getting like some other advantages, like center or like a pair of bishops. So sometimes like you just get this positional advantage, and then it's very important to like finish your development. And
Yeah.
if you're not going to be on time to finish your development, then like you just might get a worse position with white.
Yes.
So that's why it's so tricky and like it's very concrete. Like one bad move and like the whole idea doesn't work.
Yeah, you have to be careful. You have to be careful not to let black have a huge lead in development. So here queen f5 is what is the recommended move. But yeah,
Okay, black has another move here, bishop e7 instead of rook e8. Yeah, and here you can go knight g5. This is a very tricky idea. I really like this move. So yeah, in this case, now after h6, yeah, maybe some viewers will want to find how to
okay,
win here with white.
okay, yeah, guys, just to ensure that you are not sleeping, yeah, this is white to move. What should white play here? White to move and win. By the way, I just checked right now, Yevgeny. You have around 180 subscribers already on your channel on YouTube. Guys, we
Oh,
we
nice.
we have to make sure that Yevgeny has 1,000 subscribers, and that would be very cool for all the wonderful knowledge that he is giving us in the English. I think, but then Yevgeny, you would also stream live on YouTube, yeah, in the days to come.
Yeah, I already stream on Twitch.
Hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, I will check it out. Like I will start on YouTube as well. Like I will start
Yeah,
streaming on YouTube
yeah.
as well. Yeah.
So it would be nice if you guys can, follow him there as well. Okay, everyone is right. The right move is knight into f6, check, bishop
Yeah,
f6, and queen h7 mate. Very good.
yeah, with a checkmate. So yeah, after knight g5, the only move that black has is g6, because otherwise, like knight f6 followed by queen h7 wins. So in here, I would usually just take that bishop on e7, and I feel like this g6 is like a weakness. So I would just play a3 just to avoid those knight b4 ideas. Computer says that like this position is around equal, but I really like this position for white because I have a pair of bishops, so I'm gonna finish my development. And like this pawn on g6, I feel like it exposes the king a little bit.
Yeah,
So since later in the game, this might be a big problem for
absolutely.
black. Yeah.
Yeah. So just see how, this is how top players play in the openings. It's like they can win the bishop here, but then it's a normal position. But you first go knight g5, force him to play g6. It weakens the dark squares a bit, and then you take the dark squares bishop, and then these weaknesses will become more relevant. So fantastic concept. Yeah.
Okay, so now let's get back to the main line, which is bishop takes c3. So instead of castling, yeah, here bishop takes c3.
Okay, this is the main
Yeah, and the
move.
move, yeah, and the move. Okay, there are two good moves here. Like you can take with the queen, and you can also take with the pawn. And I've played both of them. But yeah, today I wanted to look at queen takes
Okay.
because I feel like this move is much more fun. Because after you take with the pawn, like the positions are extremely complicated.
If I'm not mistaken, Evgeny, in the World Juniors, you took in one of the games with the B pawn, right?
Yeah, like it was the game versus Kostachi Michnie
Yes,
where,
yes.
yeah, where at the end he actually allowed me to like get that beautiful checkmate to show it on the board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I remember this was a very nice game. And my question to you was, when you play your queen to c2, why don't you take on c3 back with the queen? Why are you taking with the pawn? And then you had explained to me how this structure is different and how what happens and so
Yeah.
on.
And actually what happened in that game is that like before that game I would only take with the queen.
Hmm.
So he actually prepared for queen takes c3, but I knew that like people would prepare for queen takes c3. So before the tournament I looked at b takes c3 just to like avoid the preparation.
Ah, okay, smart.
Yeah, and what happened in that game is that like I was prepared very well until like move 20 or so. So I had like 1 hour and 35 minutes, and he already had like 30 minutes on the clock.
Ah, right, right. So that was a
Yeah.
opening surprise, but more common is queen into c3.
Yeah, queen to c3, and now e5 is hanging. Uh, okay, so here black has to go queen e7. If black plays d6, it doesn't really make sense because uh, black just wasted a move because usually you want to take on c3 after white plays a3.
Ah,
So
okay.
now I just have a pair of bishops and I feel like slightly better position.
Yeah, you continue usually like bishop e2 castles. Are you not
Yeah, bishop
afraid of
e2.
this move e4 at the right moment, or how is it?
E4, the problem is e4 is that you open up the a1 h8 diagonal, and since you don't have a dark square bishop, it might be a problem later on the game. And
Okay.
also, like this pawn on e4, yeah, it's kind of a weakness. Oh, it's kind of a strength, but from the other side, I can always go f3 and undermine the pawn.
Mm, mm.
Yeah,
So here, I mean, you can go knight d4 and
yeah. I'm not sure that bishop e2 is the best move. Like, I would even consider moves like b4 here because I still want
b4.
to get my bishop to b2.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
make it just harder for him to play e4. So now e4, knight d4. Yeah, and then I just want to put my bishop on b2. And since black doesn't have a dark square bishop, he's going to have very hard times like defending on the long diagonal.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, so like e4 is not a good move. So yeah, and d6 is just way too passive. So instead of d6, yeah, black has to go queen e7 just to defend the pawn, and with the idea of playing d5.
Okay.
And once again, in this position, there are like at least 2 moves, or at least 3 moves. D4 is probably the main line that's most commonly played right now. Another line is A3 that I used to play. And the lines that I want to show you is b3, which is a very rare line, and most people don't know how to react to it.
Okay.
So yeah, the b3, and let's say if black doesn't play d5, if black castles, then you just go bishop b2, and in that case, like black has to go d6. Then you just play bishop e2, and once again, this position is slightly better for white because you have a pair of bishops, and your pieces are just more flexible. That's also what I like about those positions.
And after castling, you will play d4, yeah, at the right time.
Yeah, most probably I will, but also I don't have to. I can also go like d3 and then play b4 and start playing on the queen side. That's also a decent idea.
Yeah, I think that's the advantage of English. Like, you don't have to commit to one plan. You can be flexible and you can wait for your
Yeah,
opponent. Sometimes you can try for d4. Sometimes you can put d3, play b4, b5. Very nice. Okay.
yeah. So yeah, after b3, black basically has to go d5.
Yeah, it also makes sense because white is playing very slowly. His king is still in the center. So d5 opens it up.
Yeah, d5, and now like there is the only move for white, which is d4. If you don't play d4, then you're not developed. Like let's say if you just take on d5, it's just like not good for white because black takes back with the knight, and black is so much ahead in the development, and then like e4 is gonna be a problem, and yeah, like black is just much better. So yeah, after d5, white has to go d4.
Yeah, I'm a little bit tensed here. Firstly, because I'm worried about this move knight e4. Does it make sense? Because next
Yeah,
round.
knight e4 is one of the good lines. Okay, after knight e4, I'm gonna go queen b2,
Okay, and can
and
I
after
give a
queen b4
check?
check, yeah, after queen b4 check, I play bishop d2.
Oh, so you're giving up the bishop back. So let's
Yeah,
say I
now you
take.
take. I take with the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say you take. Now I take with the king, and this endgame is slightly better for white.
Ah, oh, okay.
So
Let's say he takes here. You take
I
CD. Yeah.
take with the knight. On,
Ah, you can.
yeah, CD is possible. CD is possible. I'm not sure which one is better, but I would usually take with the knight on d4.
Okay, and if I take,
Yeah, I take back with the pawn,
and I take, or
and now
maybe
let's
let's
say,
say bishop e6
yeah,
per.
bishop e6. I just play c5, and this endgame is slightly better for white.
Okay. Okay.
Now I put my bishop on d3, so my bishop is quite dominant here because I have my pawns on the dark squares and yours are on light squares. And then I will have some ideas like f4. And I also have some space advantage on the queen side. So yeah, I mean, this position is just like slightly better for white. So it's like a very comfortable advantage.
Ah, okay. Okay, got it. And if I play DC, BC, then this structure.
No, I would most probably take with the bishop, I think.
Okay.
I mean, taking with the pawn is also good. But taking with the bishop also makes sense because you're going to have some hard times defending against rook e1, and if you just castle short,
Yeah.
in that case I go rook e1 and you cannot stop rook e7.
It's very concrete. It's very concrete because at
Yeah, it's
some
very
point
concrete here.
you can be afraid that you have an isolated pawn, but here king c3 will defend it and you will be just going in and you have activity on your side with this bishop hitting f7.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. So once again, I think after bishop takes c4, white is just slightly better.
Very nice. Okay.
But okay, knight e4, yeah, like this knight e4 is a good move. Like, but I'm gonna tell you that like out of 5 games, maybe like one opponent will play knight e4. Most of the time, people just take on d4.
Yeah, I also think take on d4 you take with the knight, right?
Yeah, I take with the knight.
And now is knight e4 possible?
Knight e4, I don't think it works here because I just take on c6.
Ah, you take on c6. Okay.
And if you, yeah, you have to take back my knight, and now I can take
because
g7.
if you
I think.
take in c3, then I take your queen, which is
Yeah.
better for white. So you take
Yeah.
bc, and now you can take on g7. Yeah.
Yeah, here I think I can take, and after queen before check, I feel like after king e2, I should be much better because I already won a pawn. And if I finish my development, like I'm gonna have a pair of bishops, and my king is gonna be much safer actually than black's king because I can always go like f3, king f2. Yeah, and my king will be okay.
Yeah.
But black's king is extremely exposed, and also the rook on h8 is hanging.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it. Very nice.
Yeah, like you might be afraid of playing such moves like king e2, but sometimes you have to.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting a winning position, I'm okay to play dangerous moves.
Okay, so here knight takes d4,
Yeah.
queen takes d4, and people usually go c5, which is quite a logical move.
Mm.
Now you want to go queen f4. Queen f4 is such a nice square for the queen. Yeah, and now as I told you earlier, like this is one of the points of the English opening. You get the positional advantage, which is like having a pair of bishops in the like open position, but you're not developed. So here it's quite tricky. Like if I finish my development, I'm gonna be much better because my bishop on b2 is just gonna be crushing the whole position.
Yeah.
On that long
Yeah.
diagonal. And okay, in this position, black can equalize here because like if black plays like some like very solid moves like bishop e6, let's say, in that case, like white is gonna be much better. So yeah, like in this position, instead of bishop e6, you can try to find a very strong move, which actually like equalizes the game and leads to some crazy, like very crazy lines.
Really? Okay. So, black to move here. Black has to find a way to equalize this position. Um, can you find it? It seems like.
I mean, it's not like a way. Okay, like at the end of the line, at the end of the crazy line, it's the perpetual, so it's a draw.
Okay.
But it's not like equalized. Black actually is trying to like play for a win. I would say, like get some counterplay and initiative.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So, very interesting. First move that comes to my mind is d4, and this is also the move that has been suggested in the chat by a lot of people. d4.
Okay, d4.
Yeah. Uh, but is it something else, or is d4 the right move?
It's something else.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, d4 is one of the moves that we're gonna look at,
Mm.
but like there is a better move. After d4, white is still much better.
I want to know who the one prophet 123 is, because he's suggesting some very cool moves. He's and also Shivant M has suggested this, which is g5. I think that seems
Yeah,
like the right move. Yeah.
yeah, g5 is the correct move. And after g5, like the position just gets crazy, and like I don't remember like the exact lines already, but what happens is that at the end of the line, like we both have to play very precisely, and it's just a perpetual, so it's a draw.
Okay.
And I've seen only one game where black actually went for this g5 idea.
But
So after g5, yeah, I have to take with the queen, rook g8, and here, I don't remember exactly. Yeah, maybe queen f4, but I'm not really sure.
I guess there's some ideas with rook g4 coming up.
Yeah, you've got some rook g4 ideas, but like the position is just getting crazy. Like it's gonna be quite hard to play for both sides. So yeah, like before you like wanna play this line, it's better to analyze this with an engine, this g5 line, just to make sure that you're not gonna get destroyed. Because there was one game, Paravan David played with white. I mean, he's a very strong grandmaster. He's like almost 2650 right now.
Yeah.
And he played versus another Russian grandmaster who Tsydipov Jamsaran, who is like 2570. And yeah, Tsydipov prepared this line with g5, and that's actually like the only game in this line after g5. And he totally destroyed Paravan because he had no idea how to play this.
So white was, and who was white?
Paravan was white, and he got destroyed.
And black was?
Jamsaran. He's a Russian grandmaster.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So I would say the viewers to actually check out this move g5 and try to, if you're going to play this line, starting with queen c2 and then taking on c3, b3, d4, then this is one of the critical positions which you have to check g5. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, now we can get back to like normal moves. Okay, let's say d4. Okay, after d4, what I can do is I can just play bishop d3 and then castle short.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's say bishop d3, you castle, I castle. And in this case, like it turns out that like you don't have the pin on the e file anymore, so you have to like do something to your d4 pawn. So let's say you take on e3. In that case, I just take back with the bishop. And what we get is a very like classical advantage of of bishops. Like the position is widely open. The knight on f6 is cut off. I have the d and e files for my rooks. Like I'm ahead in the development all of a sudden. So yeah, basically what you did by playing d4 is that you wasted two moves. Like you wasted one move for d4, and then you wasted another move because you allowed my bishop to develop to e3.
And meanwhile, white caught up in development, and he has now the bishop pair, so it all works out
Yeah.
well. Okay, fantastic.
So white is just much better. So okay, let's get back. So d4 is not something that you want to play. Okay, let's say castles, which I mean most people castle, yeah. So here bishop b2.
But now d4 might be possible, yeah?
Yeah, d4. Here I have a very cool move. I just go bishop d3.
Okay.
And after black takes on e3.
Ah, I know what you're going to do.
I just
yes,
castle.
yes. You're going to castle.
I just castle. So I don't care about that pawn. And now after you take on f2,
yeah.
I just take back with the rook. And now just check out how beautiful my pieces are.
It's
like my bishops are aiming at the king. I control the f file. Like I just need to activate one more rook, and like it's just gonna be game over quite soon. I'm just gonna destroy you on the king
absolutely side. Very powerful position. In fact, just one queen move like queen h4 is just going to end everything here. Very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, this is basically what happens. Like I just go bishop d3 and castle, and then I'm much better. Okay, let's say what else can you do?
Okay.
Bishop b2. Oh, you can go. Let's say you can go bishop e6. But after bishop e6, I have so many like different moves that I can play. I can even just go like bishop e2.
Yeah.
Like I can just finish the development, and whenever you take on c4, I just take back with the pawn, just to control the d5 square to cut off your pieces. And then at some point, I'm just gonna castle, and maybe I have like 4 pawns versus 3. Like I cannot castle immediately because you've got rook d2. So I probably have to play something like bishop c3 first, just to like defend against that. And then I'm gonna castle short, and I will have like 4 versus 3 on the king side. So at some point I might start pushing my pawns in the center. Also my bishop on c3 is still quite brilliant. And yeah, white is just better.
Yeah.
And also I'm pretty sure there are some other moves other than bishop e2.
Yeah, and also I think this pawn is isolated, but it's not such a big weakness, and it gives you a semi-open b file where you can work with, like if he pushes b6, you can go a4 a5 and soften up the structure.
Yeah, you're right. Like yeah, this pawn on c4 is actually not a weakness in this position.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this is basically like the main idea here. So I just want to promote d4, open up the position for my bishop and for my bishops, and then finish the development, and I'm gonna be much better. And what I noticed from my experience that in at least in 4 games out of 5, I would just get like a huge advantage out of the opening.
Wow, brilliant.
Yeah. But,
I also like, Evgeny, how you spend time trying to understand what are the different possibilities for black in this position. Like, you consider this as an important point of the opening, where if the variations are working out well for white, then your entire idea with this move b3 is good, so in that sense, you can spend time at critical moments in that opening.
Okay, so yeah, I think that's gonna be it for this like c4 e5. That's the third guide on what you can play against like the main lines for black.
Fantastic. By the way, just one viewer, I think Sachin Agni, who said queen c2 d6, and we were looking at knight e2, right? E4 and knight g5. Actually speaking here, knight f4, h6, cd5 works, as he pointed out in the comments, because
okay, the bishop on b4 is hanging.
Takes,
I didn't notice that.
And takes, and then queen a4 check and wins.
Yeah.
So thank you, Sachin, for
yeah, that's a cool line.
Okay, so moving back to move number 1, c4. I think e5. You have
C5.
an idea here, which is basically to go with the 4 knights and play e3, and this is what Yevgeny is suggesting to you. So now we move to the next phase, which is c4 c5.
Yeah, c4 c5. And in this position, I would really recommend you to start with knight f3.
Okay.
I think it's very important to start with knight f3, not with knight c3. And the reason why is that after knight c3, black has a very strong move. And many people don't know about this. Black can go g6. And the problem here is that after knight f3, bishop g7, if you go d4, I take on d4, and then I go knight c6. And like in this position, you're not on time like to play e4 and bishop e3.
Yeah, the Marozzi.
So black is totally fine here. Yeah, like you cannot enter Maritza. But if you start with knight f3 on the first move, or on the second move, I mean, yeah, in that case, after g6, you can play e4, bishop g7, d4. And now when black takes, I take with a knight c6. Now I have bishop e3.
And you didn't spend
And
time
now we enter
with knight
Maritza.
c3. That's why you are able to get into a perfect Marozzi system, which is considered as slightly
Yeah.
better for white overall.
Yeah. Yeah. Maritza is just, yeah, slightly very comfortable position for white, I would say. Okay, so yeah, that's why I would really recommend this knight f3 move, because like it avoids this g6 line, which is a very good line for black.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I was just thinking knight c3, g6, e3. Then maybe you go.
The problem is e3. I go knight f6, yeah, and now after d4, I just play d5
Yeah,
here.
and you transpose into Caro-Kann variation, I think.
Yeah, and black has no problems in this
Yeah.
position.
Okay, got it. So knight f3.
Okay, so I went. Okay, yeah, knight f3, knight f6, and here knight c3. Okay, the main move for black is d5, and this is what I'm gonna show you. Like my game was played after d5, but there are some other moves as well. So here, if black goes g6, in that case, once again we just enter Maritz after e4, and then or d4 first, yeah, and then e4.
Take bishop g7 and e4, and you get the Mar.
So yeah, it's slightly better for white, so I don't really mind playing this position.
This is known as the
Okay,
Marozzi bind because it has control on the d5 square, and in general, white has more space. So yeah, g6 you go this, and if knight c6.
Yeah, if knight c6, okay, there are many lines here. The one I would recommend is d4. d4, now black takes, you just take back on d4 with the knight. Now, once again, if black plays g6, then you go e4 and you enter Maritz. So, yeah, it's not something that you should be afraid of. The main move is e6. And in this position, I would recommend you to go bishop f4, which is a very cool move.
Okay.
So, yeah, black cannot go e5 because it just takes c6 and, yeah, like this is an in-between move. So I hit the queen and then I get the pawn, yeah. And the idea is to just play e3 at some point. And now I don't want to put my pawn on e4 anymore. I just want to play e3 and finish my development with bishop e2 and castles, and then start targeting your, I mean, start playing on the d file. So the bishop on f6 really on f4 really helps to target d6.
Yeah, got it. I think bishop f4 is quite a modern move, right? Earlier they used to play a3 and g3.
Yeah, a3.
And
I mean, like all those moves are good. Like there is no advantage for white anyway. Like if black plays perfectly, of course. Like if black doesn't know what to play, then yeah, like you can get an advantage like after a3, after e4, after g3.
Correct.
But yeah, bishop f4, like it's more like flexible, like very solid. You don't really like risk a lot after bishop f4. Like the position is extremely solid for white.
Got it. So
okay, but let's get back to this d5 move. Yeah, that's what most people play.
Takes.
Okay, d5 takes. And now once again, like in this position, I've played so many like different moves. Starting with g3.
I'm going to guess what your move will be because I'm trying to think that you. Okay, maybe I'm wrong, but let's say e4. Does that make any sense here?
Yeah, e4 is one of the main lines. Like I sometimes play e4, but not in this game.
Okay, so this is not your
So
main.
yeah, actually I can show you like a very cool idea after e4, because like the positions are after e4 are extremely like interesting.
Okay.
So after e4, black goes to b4.
Yeah, because if you
You play
take
bishop
then
c4.
this and then you're going to play d4.
Yeah,
So that's slightly better
yeah.
for white. So knight b4.
Knight b4. Here I go bishop
Yeah.
c4. Yeah, knight d3 check, and I just go king
Yeah, you
e2.
don't touch this knight.
You have to go knight f4, because if you take on c1, you basically help me to finish my development, because then I just take with the rook and play d4.
Yeah. And this king is not
Yeah,
so
so you have
weak.
to
I
go.
mean, you can always go rook e1 and get your king to safety.
Yeah.
So knight f4.
So knight f4, I go king f1. Now let's say you go knight e6. So you want to get your knight to like d4 at some point. And here a very cool move for white would be to play b4.
Ooh, b4.
The idea is to fight against this pawn on c5. So now after black takes on b4, you just go knight e2. So you basically gave up the pawn to capture the center. So then you just play d4, and you get a very strong center.
It looks like some wing gambit, yes? E4, c5, b4 in that
Yeah.
style. And I if I'm not mistaken, was it some game Aronian versus Topalov played this or some?
In this position after
Yeah,
b4,
no.
I'm not really sure. Like I remember like Polugaevsky played it a long time ago. And I've seen a lot of modern games as well, and I also like played this in a classical game.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So yeah, like in this position, like there are two more moves, like g3 and e3. But e3 I think is like the most. I mean, e3 and e4 are the most like concrete ways to play this position. And yeah, I played e3 in
You
this game.
played e3. Okay. Your style, yeah, like you like to play e3 in most of the games. I think, guys, for a change, I think it's Evgeny who's
Okay, I
internet.
guess we are back.
Ah, you're here. You're here. Fantastic. I thought something was wrong with my internet, but
Okay.
now it's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It just kicked me out for
Ah.
a second. Okay, so here, I mean, the idea is to play d4 at some point. So like, let's say e6, d4, we just transfer to some main positions. Yeah, d4s, and I just play bishop d3, castles, and like those are very like typical positions, and I feel like white has a slight edge here. Yeah, so it's much easier to play with white. But like the most common response here is knight takes c3, and that's what he played.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is where it got interesting. Yeah, the main move is b takes c3.
Ooh, you took with
Yeah,
the
but
pawn.
what I played in the game was d takes c3. This is also a very interesting move. Yeah, like and then he took on d1 and I take with the king. Yeah, actually this game I played in 2017. It was the game versus Jeffrey Song.
Oh,
Also,
Jeffrey's Young, who's now 2700 plus GM and very big talent from
yeah,
American chess.
yeah, he was also like the world junior champion. I think, by the way, like in 2017. I'm not sure exactly, but most probably yeah, in 2017.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we enter this end game. Okay, like there were some games played. For instance, Rajabov versus Svidler, and Svidler got totally outplayed here. So it's not quite easy to play this position with black. So yeah, let's make a couple of more moves and then we can discuss the end game.
Okay.
So knight c6. Now I play e4. Oh, actually, can we go back a couple of moves before black took the queen on d1? So yeah, actually Carson also has played this line a lot, at least a couple of games. Like he had many games versus Vashiela Graf, probably at least like 3 games. So yeah, after knight takes e3, dc.
Okay.
Yeah, Vashiela Graf would play queen c7. So he would not want to trade queens. Yeah, and there is a very cool idea after e4.
Okay.
e6. What you can do is to play queen d2.
Oh,
knight c6.
You want to exchange
and then
the
queen
queen?
f4. Yeah, and then queen f4. Yeah, this is a very cool idea.
And if I play bishop d6, I don't want to exchange?
Then I just go queen g4 and I hit the opponent g7. So now if you castle, I have bishop h6, and I just win in exchange.
Okay. So what you are trying to say is that in such positions, if you exchange the queen, white will have a small edge.
Yeah, and now we're gonna discuss why.
Okay.
So let's get back to the game. Yeah, he took on d1, king d1, knight c6, e4. He played b6, bishop b, bishop e3, bishop b7, knight d2, e6, and I just played f3. So yeah, this is the setup that I want to get like in all of the endgames. Like whenever I get the structure, like when I have this pawn on e4 and c3 versus e6 and c5, I usually want to get my knight on d2 and my pawn on f3 to cut off the bishop on b7, and the knight on d2 is very flexible. So why is white slightly better?
Hmm.
The reason for that is that you're a little bit overextended on the queen side. So this pawn on c5, like it allows you to create me some counterplay, some play with related to a4 and a5 at some point. Also, I get this very nice square on c4 for my pieces.
Wow.
So your problem is that you don't really have like a lot of counterplay, because I'm gonna be playing on the queen side, and it's not clear what you're supposed to do, because you cannot really like break through in the center. Like most like f5, they're more like creating more weaknesses than actually like doing anything. So yeah, and my pieces are slightly better. Like because of this pawn on c5, his bishop on f8 is not the best. Like it's not bad, but it's not like good neither. So yeah, and I'm just more flexible. Like I have some ideas, black doesn't have any ideas.
You know, the way I would, from your explanation, what I understood is that if in this position, let's assume that this pawn was not here, then maybe
Mhm.
black would have been okay, but even then there would have been different kind of problems. But the fact that this pawn is here, it just gives white this threat, even if he cannot really execute it. It's just that this threat keeps white on top, always something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Actually, you're right. Like if you like take the pawn from c5 and put it on c7, the position is equal.
Okay.
Like white is not better here.
Mm.
Because black doesn't have any weaknesses. They're just gonna castle long, play e6, and that's it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, actually, another important point in this position: why he plays e6? Why not e5?
Mm.
Because some people they would just play e5, and yeah, this move has a huge problem. It just weakens the d5 square,
Yeah.
and yeah, once again, I have my pawn on c3. It defends d4, so you don't have the d4 square, but I do have d5 square. And the thing is, I don't have to use this d5 square right away. I can just use it like in 15 moves, in 20 moves. Like the square is always going to be there.
Yeah.
That's like the huge problem. Like that's a long-term weakness.
Yeah, and from my experience of seeing Evgeny play, it's extremely dangerous to create weaknesses against him. He will clamp on them sooner or later and make you pay for it. So yeah, e6 is at least better than e5.
Yeah, e6, I played f3, and now he castled long. I played king c2.
Yeah.
Yeah, c2 is a very nice square for the king. I just want to get rid of the spin on the d file. Okay, he plays bishop d6. Yeah, I think bishop d6 is interesting. Like he decided to keep the bishop on this b8 h2 diagonal instead of playing just bishop e7. Which is interesting. Okay, I played knight c4. This is where I usually want to put my knight.
Yeah.
Bishop c7, and now I play a5, a4.
Love it. Love it. I love the way in which you put your king nicely tucked in here. How this pawn actually dominates this knight from coming forward, and how this knight is cozily posted, and all your pieces working together. Yeah.
Yeah, another problem in this position is that his bishop is on b7. Like if the bishop, let's say, was on d7, and like, okay, in that case he would never like castle long.
Mm.
But I'm just saying that, like whenever we have the structure a4 b2 c3 versus a7 b6 c5, it's not good to have the bishop on b7, because whenever I push a5, you cannot go b5 because I have this in between move a6,
Yeah.
which is extremely important. And in that case, b5 becomes a huge target. Then I will just move my knight back to a3 or somewhere, and I will get your pawn on b5. But if your bishop was not on b7, in that case, b5 would be possible in some lines.
Okay, this is very
So yeah,
important point which Evgeny has mentioned, and I think it will be useful for all of you to learn this. The point that he says is that let's imagine that in this position it's white to move, and white plays the move a5. We right now don't look whether that move is good or bad, but if b5 and now you had to move the knight, then after something like a6, although c5 is hanging here, but still just the concept, this structure is okay for black, but here black always has this move, white always has this move a6, and then he moves the knight, and then these pawns become weak. So therefore, if the bishop was not on b7, and let's say we make a move like bishop a8, and then you play a5, b5, knight d2, and a6, I guess it gives black at least some chances. But as we have already pointed out, this pawn is hanging, but we are not considering that for the moment.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what he played was h5. So yeah, here he already like realized that the position, like that something was going wrong. Like I would say that many people, whenever they enter this endgame, they think like it's like a very comfortable equality for black.
Yeah.
And many people, they don't like they underestimate the position, and that's all like a huge mistake, because they don't see the potential, and potential for white here is huge. Like this a4 a5 idea is just extremely annoying, and actually the fact that his king is on the queen side might be quite dangerous for him, because his king might get in trouble later in the game because of this.
Yeah, yeah. I was actually thinking, because everything is okay for black right now. How about this move f5? I'm just trying to open some lines or create a weakness on e4 so that my bishop can start acting
Yeah,
somehow.
the problem with f5 is that I can even take on f5,
Okay,
and after you
take,
take back,
take.
still my pawn on f3 shuts down your b7 bishop. So you're not really like doing a lot. I can just go bishop d3 and then finish my development, or I can also go a5 instead.
Okay,
Like
okay.
I'm still very safe because my pawns on f3 and c3, they just cut off your pieces.
My intention was just to play knight e5 and try to exchange, but as you rightly pointed out, even that doesn't solve all the problems because a5 will anyway come later.
Yeah, I mean, actually, like in the game later, we got a very similar position.
Okay, so h5.
So yeah, he played h5, so he's trying to get his pawn to h4 to kind of target my pawn on h2, because like whenever my rooks, like he's got the bishop on c7, so whenever my rook from h1 moves, he just gets that pawn. So most probably I cannot go g3, because like if I go g3, then I create like a hook for his pawn, so he can play h4 and he gets some counterplay, and I definitely don't want that. So at some point I will have to meet him with h3, and he gets like some dark squares.
Yeah, he can
on
sit here.
the
Yeah.
diagonal. Yeah. So yeah, h5 makes sense. Yeah. So he played h5. I just answered with a5. I just stick to my initial plan.
Okay.
He played h4. I took on b6. He took back with the pawn, and now I just played h3 just to prevent counterplay. I don't want him to go h3 and weaken my structure.
Right.
Yeah, so now what happens after I promoted a5? Now b6 is a huge target, and also I weakened his b5 square. So now I can always go like knight a3, knight b5 at some point. So yeah, and his king might be in trouble later in the game, because I'm gonna be superior on the queen side, and he's gonna have some problems because of this.
Okay. By the way, in the chat we have a strong player, Arjun Kalyan, who is an IM, and he suggested that after bishop d3, maybe this might be a problem that you may face. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is an interesting move, but I mean, like at the end of the line, I'm gonna be up in exchange, so I think I should be better. So I take, and after bishop a6, I go b3. Like you will be able to get the pawn back after knight e5, let's say, king c2. But I don't think that this is enough for equality.
Yeah.
Like I should still probably be better.
Nice.
But still, like this is a very interesting idea. Rook takes d3 is a good suggestion. And I'm not even sure that bishop d3 is the best move for white. Maybe I can just stick to my initial idea, which is a5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you cannot really, like, even if you go rook e8, I can always go bishop f2, and you cannot really penetrate on the e and d files.
Yeah, this is what makes me a little bit scared in the fact that you have a king here. I have things a little bit undeveloped, and some sacrifice may come and cause some problems. But well,
Yeah, but the problem is that all of your pieces are cut off. Like, none of your pieces are actually like great. Like, your minor pieces are just terrible. Like, your bishop on b7, knight on c6, they just like have no future. And your rooks are like kind of limited by my bishops.
yeah.
Yeah, and your pawn structure is bad. So like after I finish my development, I'm gonna be much better.
Okay. So h5, you played in the game a5, h4,
Yeah,
takes,
h4,
takes,
h3.
h3.
Yeah.
Okay.
H3, and now he played king b8. And here I think he offered a draw.
Ah.
Yeah. So.
And of course you didn't take it, yeah?
No, I didn't take it because it doesn't make sense to take a draw here because I literally have no problems in my position.
Absolutely.
I'm just like, I mean, not even slightly better. Like, I'm just better in this position. And like, there is no need to accept a draw. Yeah, but yeah, he was like 2630 at the time, or maybe even higher, and I was like 2500. So maybe he was thinking that I would just accept a draw. So yeah, I just played bishop e2. I just want to finish my development. Okay, bishop e2. He played knight e5. Okay, and here I want the audience to find the move.
Okay.
Now you have to come up with a plan, and like if you come up with the correct plan, you will find the move.
Okay, so it's white to move. You have to come up with an idea here, and okay, I should also think. I'm very excited. Let's see if I can find the right move. Also, I think white has caught up in development now, so he's not even behind in development. So
Yeah, you're right.
now it's all about if you can create some kind of weakness in black's camp, how you can take advantage of it. Let's see. Tanmay Chopra asks, why not h4 when black played h5?
Okay, because if I play h4, in that case, my pawn on h4 becomes a weakness. Because in that case, whenever I move my rook from h1, and if he attacks h4 with his bishop, like let's say with bishop g3, in that case, like I will just have to move my rook back to h1.
Okay.
So I don't really like want to overextend my pawn structure because yeah, those pawns might become weaknesses later in the game.
Okay, cool. So we have some suggestions. Knight a3 by MTG Gaming, bishop f4 by Akshat Crazy Kumar, rook h b1 and b4 by Miroslav Zufic, knight d2 by Mayur Gondarekar, knight e5 suggestion by Devi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the correct move. So it's rook hb1.
Wow, rook hb1 as suggested by Miroslav. Nice move.
So yeah, as I told you earlier, this king on the queen side might get it in a lot of trouble because now my idea is to promote b4. And now if you look at the position, like all of my pieces are aiming at his king.
My god. You're going to launch an attack against this king.
Yeah. So he's in a lot of trouble. So what he played is he took on c4.
Okay.
Knight c4, bishop takes c4. And now, I mean, like, if he doesn't play, like, anything concrete, then after b4, he can just resign. Because I'm just, like, in the worst case, I'm just gonna win the pawn on b6. But most probably what's gonna happen is that I'm gonna win the pawn on b6, and I'm still gonna keep my initiative. Yeah. So he has to come up with something. So he plays f5.
So I was thinking that could you go like b4 directly here, or that didn't make sense?
Yeah, I could, but the thing is, like, he takes here on b4, or like on c4 first, and then on b4.
And you want to take with the rook, yeah, when it attacks.
Yeah, I want to take with the rook, because in that case, b6 is a huge target.
Okay.
Yeah.
So rook hb1 takes, and now...
and he played f5.
Finally, he wants to create some play.
Yeah, but to be honest, I think like the moment where you offered f5, like it would have been so much better for him than f5 here.
Yeah.
So he already messed it up.
I think you
And,
would take.
you know, like maybe his move like king b8 was way too passive. Like he should have played something else, like something more concrete. Yeah. Okay, so f5, I just take on f5.
Take.
He takes. Now I play b4.
Fantastic.
Okay, he played f4. Yeah, hit my bishop. So how should white continue here?
Okay. White to move. Do we have some tactics in the air? Not so soon, I guess. I was thinking, can we take pawn, like bc5, fe3, cb6, but it looks too soon to do that. So
Yeah.
we need to move the bishop, but where? Okay, let's see if anyone in the chat. By the way, Yash Jaiswar, I got your email about that day, and I have listened to everything that you have said. I'll write back to you. Okay, let's see. Bishop g1 says Peggy's there. Vaishnav says bishop g1. Bishop into c5 by FM. Some Russian name I can't pronounce. Nitesh Borkhetaria says bishop into c5. Oh, really? Did you sacrifice a bishop?
Okay, so what happened is like in the game is that I didn't notice it. But yeah, bishop takes c5 was a very nice win.
Oh.
But okay, it's still quite tricky. Like it's not very straightforward. So bishop c5, bc, and there is a very strong move rook h6.
Ah, yeah, it's easy to miss.
Yeah, but here white has a winning move. So yeah, now try to find a winning move here after rook h6. There is a very cool move that wins the game.
Okay, you see, guys, that if you even if you play the most positional chess, there comes a time when you have to calculate and finish off your opponent, and this is the time.
Yeah.
What do you play here is the question. I was thinking bishop a6, but then rook a6, king c8 may not be so clear, I guess.
Yeah, like it's not clear. Like I might still be better, but like it's not clear. He has a pair of bishops further up.
Yeah. So somewhere c6 pawn push, rook c6 doesn't seem to be great. Let's see what people are saying. Bishop. Oh my God! This guy FM. The Russian name. What's your name? Please tell me. I want to pronounce your name, but I can't read it out. And it's been also suggested by Tanmay Chopra, Chess Vibes, Hari Ponting, Sudhanshu. No. Many people have suggested bishop a6, but these guys, the names I took, suggest rook a6. Is that correct?
Yeah, rook a6 is the correct move. Yeah.
Oh, what a move! What a move!
Yeah. So now I just get rid of that rook on h6, and I get that bishop on b7. So let's say you try to like run away with your king with king c8. In that case, I just take on h6, and I have bishop e6 check followed by c6.
Oh, wow!
And I just win the game.
So I just want to tell the viewers that here rook a6, the threat is to take and play c6, and if you even move the rook away somewhere, then still c6 will win. So that's why rook a6 is a very powerful move. Very powerful move.
Yeah, but I didn't notice this during the game, so I played another move, and yeah, like so, I just missed this win, and he still had like some chances to hold. Okay. But it was quite hard for him anyway. So I played bishop f2.
By the way, the bishop name f2 is Aristan Izanzulov. FM Aristan. Okay, got it. So bishop f2.
This is not a Russian name.
Yeah, this is not Russian, but I don't know which language it is written in. Aristan Izanzulov is his name. Maybe. Yeah, I can't guess it. So what happened? Bishop f2?
Yeah, bishop f2, he played bishop c8. So now he's trying to get his bishop to f5. So I cannot take c5 because he goes bishop f5 check, and he gets my rook on b5. I just go rook d1. And here I completely changed my idea. Like I'm no longer playing for like the attack. I'm just playing positional chess, because now my bishops are so much better, because they're actually like targeting the real weaknesses, and his bishops are just bad. Because like they're just not like doing anything that, you know, like they're just not attacking anything basically. Like the bishop on c7 just like very bad because it hits his own pawns. And his light square bishop also doesn't really have future because my pawns on f3, g2, and h3, they do like a very good job of restricting the bishop.
Absolutely.
So rook d1, he took on b4. I took back. Bishop f5 check. King b3. g5. Now I just play rook d5. So he cannot take on d5 because if he does, then bishop takes d5 and he has no defense against rook e8. So he's just losing here. And after bishop e5, I have bishop takes b6.
It's funny how you launch attacks in this position, yeah, like with your pieces. It's amazing.
Yeah.
By the way,
My
no,
bishop's
this
extremely
is
powerful.
hanging, yeah.
Oh, wait. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. No, then I don't play it. Obviously, yeah. I just go rook a6
yeah,
or
rook
whatever.
a6. Yeah. So.
Okay, so he didn't take on d5 for this reason because he doesn't want my bishop to be on d5. So he played rook hf8. Okay, and here also a very interesting moment. So it's white to play. What would you do in this position?
Okay, white to move. I want to checkmate the king. It's funny to say that when you have just 2 rooks and 2 bishops on the board, but looks like somehow something's gonna happen here. Let's calculate. Let's calculate white to play. You know, I'm so loving this entire training session because you learn the opening and then you also learn the ideas in the middle game, and now we are going all the way into the end game, so it's like complete training.
Yeah.
Rook b5 says Pratik. Okay.
No. Moves like rook b5, like just forget about them. Like it's just not good.
Why? Like,
because I mean, like the rook on b5 is just like very awkward. It's like way too passive, I think. Like rook b5, I just don't like this move at all.
I think what Evgeny many times looks in a position is the harmony. You know, like if rook b5, you just break your harmony to some extent.
Yeah, like I can just go rook f6 and defend, let's say. Yeah.
Okay, what are the other suggestions? Rook a6, bishop bishop b5. Wow. No, that shouldn't
Wow.
work. That should...
No, I mean, this doesn't work.
Yeah, because there's rook d3 check after rook into d5, bishop c6. So that doesn't...
Yeah.
Oh, what? Rook a8. Okay, guys, not rook a8. Rook a6.
No,
Rook
no
into
one got the move so
f5.
far.
Rook into f5. Yeah.
No.
No one's got the move.
No one got the move yet.
Rook e1 says Suryansh Verma. Rook into d8, Anuj Manyar.
Nope.
Rook a d1. Rook a5. Does that work? Rook a5? No.
Rook a5? No, it
No,
doesn't.
it doesn't. Bishop c5 is being suggested. I think people got very desperate. They are not able to find the move, so sacking pieces here and there. But it's
okay. So the thing here,
you know,
is that
Evgeny, 500 people watching this cannot find the move that you have made. This is very, very surprising. I'm very surprised. Bishop
so
into
what you have to
h4.
understand.
What? No, come on.
Okay, what you have to understand in this position, if it was black to move, black still don't have like any good moves. Like he just played rook f8 to defend the bishop on f5. So if it was black to move, he doesn't really have good moves. So I just play b5.
Okay.
So in this case, I fix that weakness on b6. And also, like, you know, my mating net becomes even stronger. So now whenever I get my bishop to that h1 e8 there, in that case, like, it's harder for his king to get out. So yeah, I just like slightly improve my position because b6 now is a huge weakness, and he doesn't really have good moves. Like that's his whole problem. So he didn't find anything better in this position than to play king b7.
Okay.
Which is not the move that you want to make because, like in this case, like whenever I get my bishop to d5, it's gonna be with a check. So what do you do now?
Okay, one more question. Now this time, guys, come on, show your strength. find the move. Fine. B5 is really a very nice move by Evgeny, fixing the weakness. By the way, everyone who's thinking right now, mods, can you just put in the link of Evgeny's YouTube channel in the chat, because so many people right now can subscribe to his channel. Already you can see the classiness with which he's teaching. More and more people can learn from him, so if you can do that, that would be nice, and do like this video. Okay, let's see. The new suggestions are rook dd1. Okay, rook dd1,
Mhm.
rook a6, rook a6, bishop d4, I guess, uh, rook e1, rook
Mhm.
e5. Have you got the move yet?
Yeah, rook e1 is the move.
Rook
The reason why
e1.
rook e1. The reason why I play it is because now my rook on the a1 doesn't really do much because I cannot like penetrate on the a file, so I cannot really do anything on the a file. And now I just switch to the e file where I just want to go rook e7, and he's in a lot of trouble after that.
Oh,
So he didn't find anything better than to take on d5.
okay. Take.
Bishop takes d5, and king c8. And now I just go back. I just go rook a1, because in this case now my rook doesn't make a lot of sense on e7. Makes more sense somewhere on a6
Yeah,
or a8.
yeah.
Yeah. So rook a1, he went to rook d8, bishop c6, rook d3 check, king goes to c4,
Yeah.
bishop e5. So here I still have to be quite careful because, you know, like he has activated his rook and his bishops. So now if I misplace something, I might get like into like some kind of mating net. So I have to be very careful. But from the other side, my bishops are also quite active, and then I will get the pawn on b6. So which is a huge deal, because after I get the pawn, yeah, I just went rook a8 check. After I get the pawn, like it's very close to the promotion square.
Yeah.
So yeah, rook a7, king d6, and bishop takes b6.
Right.
Yeah, he went to d6. Bishop takes b6. Now rook c3 check. I just go king b4. He went rook c2. Okay, and here. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna tell you the moves. Like, I guess there are a couple of ways how you
I
can
would
play it.
just go bishop c7 and exchange one bishop, and I
Yeah,
think that would win
yeah.
it.
Bishop c7 is what I played. Bishop c7.
Okay, but maybe there's a faster
Uh,
way. Yeah.
king e6. No, I think what I played was the best. And now, like, there is a very important move. So yeah. But okay,
I mean,
like there's only one move.
taking on e5 should be okay, right? Or no?
Yeah, yeah. Taking on e5 is winning, but like there is a better move,
Okay.
like with an easier win.
Okay. Okay. So okay. Check. Check. King e6. Ooh. No, I'm not sure if it works. I want to play bishop d7 check, king d7, bishop e5.
Yeah, that's what I played. That's what I played, bishop d7.
But yeah, a lot of people in the chat have found this bishop d7. But I was thinking, does it like finish off the game like after king e6?
I just go bishop c3 here.
Ooh,
That's what happened in the game.
the
So now he doesn't have that b2 square. So it's much easier to promote my pawn, and since he has a light square bishop, he cannot like stop b8.
Wow.
So he cannot really like stop my pawn.
Too good.
So what happened is that after, I mean, he can just resign here, but he took on g2. I played b6, rook g1, b7. Yeah, rook b1, king c5.
Threatening.
And he just took on b7 and then resigned. Because like there is bishop b4 is coming, yeah, so he just resigned here.
Wow, wow! And guys, this player who was black was not some normal player. He's Jeffrey Ziong, who is now 2700 plus and one of the biggest talents, not just in the US but all across the world. and now well into the top 30 players in the world. So to beat him, and this was when he was around 2600 plus 2630, Yevgeny, that was a fantastic game.
Yeah, I think like his problem was like the opening, because after like whenever like two good players, like two grandmasters play, and you get to like a very comfortable position, like it's so easy to play. So I was like very comfortable and I was very confident. I was like quite sure and very confident with what I was doing. And his position was kind of bad. Like no matter how hard he tries, like it's very hard to like create counterplay.
Okay, so
So yeah, the opening was a problem. I guess here, yeah, like starting from here, he didn't choose the correct plan. Like this whole idea with putting the bishop on b7 and castling long is not good.
but you would already say that this position is, even if black does something else, is slightly better for white.
Yeah, I would say that it's slightly better for white. Like obviously computer says that like it's just that equal, but you know, like from human perspective, like it's just slightly better for white because my structure is slightly better.
Yeah.
You're a bit overextended on the queen side.
Yeah, actually, if I have to just summarize this setup very quickly, White puts his king on c2, brings his puts his bishop on e3, knight comes to d2, you put your pawn on f3, then you go a4, a5, and in general, this is how you play. You decide where your bishop would go, maybe to e2. If there's space, could go to b5, c4 somewhere. And yeah, I have learned so much today, Evgeny. Thanks to you. Couldn't be more grateful.
Yeah, thank you for inviting.
No, because you have actually covered two critical lines after one c4. So first part was with c4, e5, knight c3, knight f6, knight f3, knight c6, e3, and he's provided almost a complete repertoire. You can go after his recommendations and go deeper into those lines. And the second thing which he has shown today is c4, c5, knight f3, knight f6, knight c3, d5, and how in this position after e3 you can confidently go into this endgame and try to grind your opponent. Uh,
Yeah. I would really recommend everyone to look at this game, like Timur Rajabov versus Peter Svidler in this position.
okay.
Like this shows like how people underestimate this position because Peter Svidler, he's one of the best players in the world. So obviously he understands chess very
Yeah.
well, and he really underestimated this position.
I'm going to have a look at this game very carefully, and also, Timur is a good friend, and he comes often on ChessBase India channel. He recently did a video on King's Indian on the channel.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's
Yeah, I learned King's Indian from his games.
really, really. So he's very
Yeah.
active, and I think we would ask him about that game at some point. But you have
Okay.
greatly enhanced our knowledge about these things, because to understand these small nuances actually sometimes takes days, if not weeks, sometimes even months. And this all of these information you have summarized it into this 1.5 hours of learning, which is amazing.
Okay. Yeah, actually, like another thing about this endgame, whenever you get the pawn on e4, so this position actually reminds me some King's Indian types of positions. I would get like very similar positions, but with the reverse colors.
Ah,
So yeah, so let's say you put the pawn on e5 here for black.
okay.
In that case, like this is basically a King's Indian structure, King's Indian pawn structure. But yeah, sometimes like the white will play e3. So like you can get similar positions from like some King's Indian lines.
Yeah.
And this is where it comes from. Like all the positions, like they're all kind of like similar, and like they all kind of like I don't know, like cross with each other. So that's how like I learned it. Like that's how I understand what to do in this position, because I know like if I was black and I had like a similar position, that's like the plan that I would go
Yeah,
for.
yeah. So I mean, one opening can actually help you in another opening. I can also completely
Yeah.
agree with you. Like for example, there's also this King's Indian attack sometimes, where you go something like uh, this setup,
Hmm.
and then many times people take here, and then
Yeah.
they kind of go e5, and then you reach similar structure, although the bishop is on g2.
Yeah.
But you get a similar
Mhm.
feel, yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Cool, cool. Yevgeny, just last question. Many people in the chat, they
yeah.
say, Sagar, you showed all these things here with Yevgeny. You put all the moves down. Can you share the PGN with us? And you know what I would tell them is that, guys, please have a look at this video again. Sit down and put in the moves on your own so that when you do that, you will actually learn in the process. Would you agree with me,
Yeah.
or would you be like, no, no, you should give them the PGN?
Actually, like you have a good point. Like if you're actually like interested in this, yeah, you can watch the video and yeah, just put in all the moves, and in this way you will memorize it first of
Yeah.
all, and you will understand it much better.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
what, if you want to really improve, you need to take some effort. And that's what you should
yeah,
do.
that's for sure.
So,
And also, I'm gonna tell you this: like whenever you look at the opening yourself, it's so hard to actually realize which moves to look
hmm,
at. And here you have like a complete guide, like you know what to look at,
absolutely.
so it's much easier.
I think
Yeah,
Yevgeny actually saved you a lot of time. So looking at this video again for 1.5 hours is not going to be a big loss. To summarize this entire session, brilliant work, Yevgeny. Thank you. And I want to just
yeah. Thank you,
check
appreciate it.
your YouTube channel. Okay, we have 319 subscribers, guys. Let me take you to Yevgeny's channel. Let me see here if I can share the screen. It's basically his channel is uh, right now has no content. I'm going to subscribe myself, so just let me see if I can take you here. Okay, and I'm going to uh, do this. Yeah, so you go to YouTube and you go to GM STEM, and this is his channel, guys. Mods, if you can put in the link in the chat. It's 337 subscribers. Let's get it to 500, and then when you replay the stream, I hope that it will reach 1000. But let's
Yeah,
see.
would be very
Would
cool.
be very cool, because I think Yevgeny deserves these many subscribers when he streams, because such high quality information should be learned by more people. A lot of people are saying they have subscribed it. So okay, it's 358. I think this number will grow. And Yevgeny, we
Yeah.
would love if at some point in the coming days you will be back here again. But today was a day dedicated to you. In the morning, you taught Samai, and you taught Jamil was here, and now you have spent time with me, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me. Like it was a lot of fun. Yeah,
Fantastic.
like it would be a pleasure for me to come in again.
Brilliant. Brilliant. We will make sure that happens, and have a good day. Bye.
Okay, you too. Yeah, everyone have a good one.
See you.
Bye.
Okay. That was Yevgeny. Let me stop sharing. Let me end the call, end the meeting. And okay. Yeah, there were two Yevgenys on the on the stream at some point, but okay. Uh, yeah, 400 guys. Let's make it 500 right now. All those people who are here, please do it. Because when I was improving as a chess player, if someone would have given me such high quality content to improve, it's just the base. It's the base from which you build up your openings. It's tremendous, and I think we should return the favor. We should respect what Yevgeny has done. He spent time, he's given us knowledge, and the least we can do is subscribe to his channel so that more and more people get to know about it. Let me see, how did you like this show? Please let me know in the uh, chat. The one prophet 123, what's your name? I think you're very strong. I would like to know. Sanchit Sharma, thank you for bringing such gems to us, Sagar. Thank you, Sanchit. uh, I met Evgeny at World Juniors, and Such a down to earth, wonderful person. Dynamic Chess, Karthik says, thanks Sagar bhai, extremely thankful, wonderful. 409, thanks Sagar for the session. RK, okay. Murli Funny, thank you so much for putting in the chat. Also, the mods did a phenomenal job today. There were a lot of, I saw there were a lot of comments which were coming in, but they sort of filtered it out. Thank you. Satyavan Harmalkar, nice information. Sachin Agni, it was good. Rahul Rao, loved it. So, do you think Raja is tough competition for you in matter of love, Guru? Come on, Anubhav. He's way ahead of me. Tanmay Chopra, awesome, highly instructive. Thank you, Tanmay. Um, Santosh Sarode, best stream ever for opening. Very nice, very nice. Mayur Gondalekar, this show was quite nice. Sadly, right after dinner, so I became sleepy fast. Where Mayur, I know that you will look at it later, so I have no doubts on that. Who else? Who else has written? Prophet123 says, my name is Friedrich from Germany. Okay, fantastic, Friedrich. Good to have you on our streams. Shri Ram, this was really awesome. I learned new opening to use for the next tournament. Nice, nice. Yogesh Yogu, thank you, Sagar. Dancer Shah, yeah, that's my new name, yeah, Dancer Shah. All those who haven't checked can go to my Instagram and check out the video. It's a fun one I've put. Murli Krishna Gangaraju says, you doing an excellent service to Indian chess. Hats off to you, Sagar. Excellent. Thank you, Murli Krishna. If I'm not mistaken and if the name is not wrong, then Murli Krishna is the coach of Lalit Babu and one of the top trainers of India. So thank you so much for joining in. Ipsha Kashyap, thank you for the amazing session. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to refresh and see. We have 436 guys, 64 more. Let's go. I know there are 64 people right now watching this who haven't subscribed, and I know if mods you can put in the link, that would be nice. Pratham Chess, thank you for the amazing content. Thank you. Abhishek Prajapati, બહુ મજા આવી તમારી સ્ટ્રીમ જોવાની. અરે Abhishek, thank you for writing in Gujarati. Did Evgeny win the World Juniors in the very next year after Parham won it? Dynamic Chess, yes, absolutely. Parham won in 2018 in Turkey, and Shtembuliak won it in 2019 in Delhi. So much insightness crux. Okay, nice. Love from Bangladesh, Jishnu Kumar Das. Thank you, Jishnu. Prem Kurangwade, awesome opening. Nice. Akarshan. Well, Akarshan, you liked my dance. Yeah, what about today's session? Sai Shri Balakrishnan, thanks a lot for the stream. It was brilliant. Thank you, Sai Shri. Jishnu Kumar Das, love from Bangladesh. Yash Parekh, just wondering if I should watch all your series from today. Yash, if you have time and the willingness to improve at chess, please do it. Please do it. Okay, nice. Ayush Krishna says, in between you told you did an interview with Evgeny. Can you link in that video? Just type Evgeny Shtembuliak ChessBase India, you will find it. How's it going? 448. Okay, I'm going to reach till 450 and then I'll call it a day. And then you guys please make sure to support Evgeny Shtembuliak. I don't usually do this, like I don't stay on stream to make you subscribe, but I just felt the material that Evgeny brought was so high class that he deserves this. He just simply deserves this. Ayushi Sharma, choreographer. Well, Ayushi, I have my best friend who is a dance choreographer, yeah, Karthik Mohan. I brought him on stream in one of our sessions. So it's obvious that I have some dancing skills in me. Invite Ben Feingold. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. I'll think about it. Dimki Lagu. Hi from Greece. Hello, Dimki. Okay, so guys, I think we should be there. 4:53, fantastic. And I'll be seeing you guys later tomorrow. We'll have another stream in the morning, hopefully also in the evening. But all of you guys, thank you for supporting. Thank you for learning chess and making these streams exciting with your very good questions. I always realize that there are people who write some things which are completely irrelevant to what is being taught, but they are very few in number. They just type very quickly and you get a feeling like, oh, the entire chat is going haywire, but it's usually 2 or 3 people or sometimes 5 who do that. But there are around 400 500 people who are keenly learning, and I think these streams are a blessing for all of them. So thank you all for being wonderful learners, and once again a big thanks to Evgeny for supporting this and teaching everything. By the way, Mayur says I have signed up for GM Swapnil's camp. Oh, that camp from 10 to 15. First day was very nice. We'll tell you how it was after the course is over. Fantastic, Mayur. That would be nice if you can let us know how it was. And we have no doubt that Shyam and Swapnil did a fantastic job. Pranit B, when are you going on Surya Sir's channel? Well, Surya is going to invite me. He's already written to me, and I said yes. So we'll find a good day, and we'll do this. Do this. Yeah. Sure. Last time, yeah. Last refresh. Oh, 4:53 only, guys. What's this? Okay. Anyway, I had said 4:50, so I'm going to leave. Take care, guys. Bye bye. See you.